Hello there gorgeous gamers and welcome back to Pure Play TV, and we've got another video for you to watch, and this time we're soaring on high with a preview for the Falconeer, coming soon to PS5 and PS4, as well as Nintendo Switch. The game releases in August as the Warrior Edition, and before then I've been able to get my hands on the game. I've played on PS5 and PS4. This is just a preview though, not a full scored review. Now, come fly with me, let's fly away. I won't give up the day job. There's not really a lot that I can say about the Falconeer that hasn't already been said elsewhere. The game has been out for a while on Xbox Series XS and PC, and I've played it on Xbox, and I really liked it. But there's not a whole lot new in this PlayStation version of the game. At least, not on the screen. It's more about what goes on in your hands with the DualSense controller, and even then, it's not particularly exciting. Bear in mind, these are my early impressions of the game before full release, so things may change, but I can't see myself getting any more excited for the DualSense and its features. In fact, I've kind of gone off them. The gimmick for me has already run its course, and sometimes it's just a bit annoying, but it's nice all the same to see the game taking advantage of those features. I guarantee that if the trigger didn't flap when I shot, or the controller didn't rumble at the appropriate times, I'd be moaning about the lack of support. That's just how we humans are though, isn't it? The Falconeer is an open-world aerial combat game set in one of my favourite worlds in all of gaming. It's beautiful, honestly, and it almost seems a shame to do anything untoward in something that feels so pure and good. It's got those Disney vibes, and I could totally see this being the setting for a Disney movie or a series. They do TV now. It's a world of wonder for sure, with the inhabitants living across a huge sprawling map on many different islands. There are factions, and they're all working for and against somebody. Nobody is completely without fault, and it's a story I'm happy to sit through a second time. But I won't spoil that here. You can, if you wish, find the game's lore elsewhere on the internet, but it's something I'll go into a bit more detail when it comes to the full review. Gameplay and presentation is where the Falconeer earns its praise. I've played a lot of aerial combat games and I've disliked many of them. A problem that the genre has is that it's not very inviting to newcomers. The Falconeer definitely is, because it doesn't demand any kind of knowledge to get started, because who knows a damn thing about actually flying on top of a falcon? After a few quick tutorials, you're soaring over the oceans, doing missions, fighting pirates and more. Controlling the great big falcon you sit upon is really easy, and it feels great too. The game's combat is also really easy, because it's all locked to just one stick. You use the right stick to move the camera around, but not for aiming. I always appreciate simplicity in games. It opens it up to as many people as possible, and the more people enjoying games, the better. The Falconeer is simple with how you navigate and get around. It feels great in the hand, but combat is a little too simple. You pull the right trigger to fire off blasts from your weapon, and you have the triangle to fire your special ammo, but that's it. Locking onto enemies is simple, and then you can just follow them around by holding circle. It takes away some of the challenge, the thrill of the chase if you will, that I would have liked, and what I think the game needed. I enjoy it all the same, and I do appreciate that the game takes pains to keep it open, accessible, and most of all, fun, without being overly complicated, which it does very well. It's not a thriller minute kind of game though, and half the enjoyment for me comes in the peaceful periods between the hectic shootouts in the clouds. I've spent ages gliding around the map, checking off secret islands and generally just having a bit of a wander round. Between missions you're free to explore the world and even go to other settlements to see what they've got for sale, or maybe take on some of their missions for some extra cash rewards that can be used to upgrade the birdie wagon and the weapons. There's plenty to do, but as with any game that hangs its hat on one core mechanic, in this case aerial combat, repetition will inevitably set in. But the game's story is told well enough, even if it is through talking heads, that there's always an incentive to keep on flying. That and the numerous upgrades, because that's how modern games hook their players these days, numbers and upgrades. And that is the end of this video. Thank you very much for sticking around to the end. Hang on a second longer, drop a comment, like and subscribe, tap the bell so that you never miss a video. Check the info box for our social media channels, website links, and supporters links, where you can support the team, if you can. No obligation, these videos are always going to be free, and you can just pay with your love. Your sweet, sweet love. I've been Chris, you've been gorgeous, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, bye bye.